afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Friday. Yeah, we made it to Friday right here on the PTP podcast. This has been a long week. A long week. Helen Dixon, hi. How are you? Welcome. Mayor, welcome to you. Red Gun 51, how you doing? Jekyll and Hyde. Ranger Billy, what's going on? Bunch of maniacs. That's right. Slanty Chauffeur Bear, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to you. Crazy Chuck with the capital K. And Quiltanon is here. We have Old Broad over on the YouTubes. Jewel, good afternoon. Eagle Freedom, welcome. Who else is here? Did I see Band Mom? Band Mom is here? Where is Band Mom? There she is. Hello. How are you? Eric Chenault, what's going on? How you doing? We missed you too, Helen. I hope everything is all well with you. I'm glad to see you back in the mix. That made me feel good the other day when I saw your name in there. I'm happy you're back. Yeah, so today's Friday, and just to let you guys know, this has been one hell of a long. It feels like this has been a really long week. Matt 1776, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to you. Just the amount of stuff that was coming out in the news, geopolitically and domestically, just overwhelming stuff. A lot of overwhelming stuff. I mean, especially with the huge distraction of the Michael Cohen testimony with the Trump trial. We're going to watch a little bit of some of that stuff today. CNN is just losing their friggin' mind. And we got a clip about it. It's so funny. But we got some other stuff to talk about too. Some stuff that happened in a hearing yesterday. Just some big stuff that's going on. And I'm glad we made it to Friday. I'm really glad we made it to Friday. So we'll just give it a few. We'll hang out, see who else is coming up in here. I do want to play, because one of the first clips we're going to play is something that happened in a hearing for Merrick Garland. I'm sure you've all heard about it. With Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's funny as hell. Oh, hold on, what did I say? I'm doing okay. Okay, good. I'm glad it's nothing serious. Yeah, so the person who Marjorie Taylor Greene, I guess you want to say insulted in Congress there, because they're having a hearing for holding Merrick Garland in contempt for the stupid audio tapes for Joe Biden, right? Whatever that shit has to, whatever. To me, it's just a huge distraction. Oh, is it really buzzing again? Seriously? How about now? Does this sound okay now? I do not know what the hell is wrong with this thing. I have a brand new cable on it since the last time it happened. Let me know if my audio is okay. Give me a 5x5 out there, please, if you can. I'll give it a couple of seconds here so you guys can Hey, zombie over on the YouTube, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, exactly. The Steel Monkey. I'm sorry about that. I just shut my mixer off. I didn't mean to blow anybody's eardrums out. But it sounds good now. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Okay. It sounds like an old train. Oh, wow. You know what it is? It's probably I haven't. Well, you got to remember, I haven't used the stuff in so long. When I change the cable, it may be something in there I got to clean out or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying here. What's up, KH Farmer? What's happening? Yeah, I think I got a little bit of stormy juice in my jack. Good Lord, that sounded disgusting. No stormy. We don't want no stormy juice. What's up, Dubeck? How you doing? Pam Am. Greetings. Okay, so look. I pulled this clip off of TikTok. Right, this is the chick that right here. We're gonna start with this clip before we get to the first one. Good to see you, Steel Monkey. It's been a minute. We're gonna start with this clip because this is the chick that Marjorie Taylor Greene was directing her animosity, I guess, towards. I don't know, but listen to this one.
The Ukrainians got all of these Nazis. Well, let me tell you something. You can find Nazis anywhere. You can find them right here in the United States. In fact, a bunch of the people that they're calling victims and prisoners of war, also known as convicted felons from January 6th. So here's the point. We have people in this chamber that are actually causing just as much a threat, if not more of a threat, to our own country. We should be talking about holding our very own accountable for the misinformation and disinformation that they are spreading, whether it's coming out of China, whether it's coming out of Russia, or whoever is peddling it. It is a problem because right now what we see is that people are dying and we cannot get the support that we need from the public because they continue to peddle lies. And I'm tired of it because I didn't come to this chamber to play games. I came to this chamber to answer to the people, the American people, and to make sure that we keep the American people safe. And if we don't get something done, as they talk about the border, I do want to be clear, the only reason we have.
Okay, so you get the gist of who we're dealing with here. Redfish and Judy the Lady Pug, thank you for the cookies. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Poonslayer, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, cripes. So this is what her name is, Crockett, or whatever her name is. So to her, it's more important that we convince the American people to send money to Ukraine because people are dying. Fuck the American people who are dying on the streets here from fentanyl overdoses and exposure, homelessness, narcotic overdoses, and whatever. Fuck those people. It's the Ukrainians that we really, really, really need to worry about. And the American Nazis, right? The January Sixers, the American Nazis, and some people in the chamber who are Nazis. We should stop those people from misinformation and disinformation. This is who Marjorie Taylor Greene directed her bullshittery at. So let's take a look at. I did that first because I want you to understand who we're dealing with here. These are people who are not in really touch with reality. When they're throwing the word Nazi around, when they're throwing the words that they're throwing around, they're doing it for shock value. That's all that it is. Yeah, Eric, we're gonna watch the whole thing with AOC and all that ghetto bullshit that went on in our most sacred chambers of our government. Satire for retards. What's going on? Welcome back. What's up, Ranger? American Nazis. Yeah. Miss 320, how you doing? Yeah. So we have to understand who and what the propaganda is coming out from. I believe this ghetto bitch is confusing a Nazi with a patriot. I believe that's exactly what she's doing. But you got to understand, Band Mom, this is the propaganda that is never going to change. It's never going to change. They're going to throw out those shock words, right? Those white supremacists, the Nazis, whatever other shock words that they can throw out there in order to make people who support Donald Trump look bad. So let's watch this. The most embarrassing thing is that the ghetto whore Crockett is Dallas, Texas. Yeah, well, yeah. That is pretty embarrassing. Okay, so let's watch this. I believe this clip is one I got from MSNBC.
Politics now, and this too is disturbing. A House Oversight Committee hearing devolved into chaos last night during a markup to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress after the Attorney General refused to hand over the audio recordings of President Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. NBC News Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander has the details.
I'd like to know
Chaos on Capitol Hill overnight.
Order.
A hearing about the Justice Department's handling of President Biden's special counsel interview devolving into personal attacks and shouting.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd
through
like
it.
to strike those words as well. I would like order.
Ladies' words again.
The opening insult coming from far-right Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, attacking Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please
history.
regain
That's
order
beneath
of your
you.
committee?
Order.
Now, I want to just stop it there for a second. As far as Jasmine Crockett saying the things that she was saying about the January 6 people for shock value, we also have to hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene for saying what she was saying just for the shock value. Although I thought it was funny as hell, but this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene does, because she really doesn't stand on policy. She doesn't have any. I mean, she's not the brightest knife in the drawer or the sharpest bulb in the lamp. But she does come out with shock value. And I believe that this is what all this was, because you're listening to it.
Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez coming to Crockett's defense.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack
Meeting will
the
suspend.
physical
Meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings
her
hurt?
words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl,
Oh.
baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Crockett eventually hitting back.
And you hold on, you see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she starts to get that Bronx Puerto Rican accent going. Oh, baby girl, don't you even play. You can see her head shaking and bobbing. This is what our House of Representatives has come down to. A bunch of bitches fucking yelling and screaming at each other. You're making a great impression on the rest of the world and our country. I hope you're happy with yourselves.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
The contentious hearing was originally called as part of the GOP's push to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress after the Justice Department withheld audio recordings of President Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. And earlier yesterday, President Biden asserted executive privilege to deny House Republicans the recordings. Garland had recommended that, warning the recordings' release would damage future law enforcement efforts. The special counsel who interviewed the president as part of an investigation into classified documents discovered at Mr. Biden's Delaware home and at an office space found the president did nothing legally wrong, but in his report referred to the president as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The White House counsel, in a letter to House Republicans, saying they only want the recordings released to, quote, chop them up, distort.
Now, I find that to be a stupid comment. They want them so they can chop them up and so on and so forth. If this was the roles were reversed, the Democrats would do the same thing and they would put them in political ads, so on and so forth. But as everybody knows, Sleigh Bell 72, welcome. When you read a transcript of something, you don't get the accurate portrayal of how that person is speaking. You get their physical words of what they said, but you don't get the how they're saying it, right? So you need the audio transcripts or the audio tapes for how for tone, basically, and how they're saying what they're saying, not just their physical words, but how they're saying it. I understand that. I'm not. That doesn't get past me. I understand that. Will the Republicans use it and chop it up and do all that stuff? Abso-fucking-lutely. They're going to do all that stuff because that's politics. But for Merrick Garland, right, who we know is a planted shill anyway, to be in that position, to say that he's going to release the transcripts but not the audio tapes, and then for the president to watch this
them and use them for partisan political purposes.
Watch this.
As Peter Alexander with that report, we've absolutely
they don't say. I don't know if they're going to say it in here, but Joe Biden claimed executive privilege. Right? It's executive privileged, so nobody has to hear me stutter and mumble and sound like a feeble old man. So it's okay for Joe Biden to use his presidential powers to hide what he doesn't want the public to see, according to the Department of Justice, and it has to do with classified documents. But if the president of the United States declassifies documents, he's not allowed to possess them. But the senator and vice president can, and they won't charge him because he's a feeble old man with a bad memory, or an elderly man with a bad memory, who now as president can claim executive privilege so we don't have to hear him stuttering and mumbling through an entire fucking hearing. Gee, let's continue with the ferret and the cyclops.
Thing to add. I mean,
hello, D. Richards.
It just speaks for itself. It's so disgusting. It's so sad. I was not in Congress during the era of good feelings. We had impeachments. We had government shutdowns. We had Newt Gingrich against Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, even during the worst of times, even in the middle of impeachments.
So, and also, do you see how somber he sounds? And how disgusted that he is? That Marjorie Taylor Greene would stoop to this? How not taking into account what these two fucking snake belly people do every day to people, disparage and tell people all kinds of shit every day. He's disgusted by this. Just his tone is just disgusting. These guys must be part of the Screen Actors Guild.
Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich would get on the phone and they would talk about things that were going on in the world. In one particular instance, while the impeachment was going on, they talked on the phone about Iraq and the dangers presented by Saddam Hussein. And I saw time and time again John Kasich being called terrible things and still sitting down, patiently talking to members on the other side. Democrats doing the same thing.
He is a little
and
bitch.
so I just, it is unfortunate. And if you want to know what you can do to make a difference, you can figure out how to stop gerrymandering in your state. Because these people come, somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene has nothing to worry about. She cast her insult out there and 30, 40 years ago, before, we had computerized gerrymandered districts, there's no way she would have been elected. There's no way. Now she's in a very safe district.
But see, it's okay for Marjorie Taylor Greene, right, to throw her insult out there and say that she would have never been elected 30, 40 years ago. But it's okay what Jasmine Crockett said about American citizens and also people who are in that chamber. She's calling them Nazis. That's okay though, right? We should come together and coalesce around destroying Nazis because Jasmine Crockett said they're there. Right? You fucking Cyclops, you. I can't stand these guys when they get on their righteous soapbox and they start talking about people who shouldn't be where they are. Because these two people are the ones who created the environment that we currently find ourselves fucking deployed in. The media, right? Mika Brzezinski is the one who says they should believe us. We're the ones who make up the news. And here we are listening to them talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And so she insults somebody else. She insults a black woman. And I guarantee you, contribute.
So there it is, right? Because Jasmine Crockett is a black woman. What does that have to do with anything? Did Marjorie Taylor Greene bring up the fact that she was black? Did she bring up the fact that AOC's a Rican? A Puerto Rican? A Rican. What I just said a Rican. A Puerto Rican? No, she didn't bring up race, color, ethnicity, nothing. But you're going to sit there and stoke it. Like stoking the fire. She said it to a woman. It's a black woman, a woman of color.
To her campaign will skyrocket.
Get stronger.
Yeah. See how they do that? First of all, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Right? It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Was it funny as hell? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely funny as hell. Okay? But look what it turned itself into. Look what it turned itself into. Just in one 3-minute clip, it's now a racial issue. And hello, hip to the clip. How you doing? What is it? Yeah, you see, that doesn't matter, hip to the clip, if she called Marjorie Taylor Greene a bleach blonde, whatever, built bodybuilder or whatever the hell she called her. That doesn't matter because Jasmine Crockett is black and she's a woman of color, and that can happen. It's okay. You can't get in trouble for that. Also, you can't get in trouble for calling people Nazis or Putin apologists or any of that other stuff that they call us because we support President Trump. Now, do I think personally, do I think what happened in the House of Representatives during a hearing to hold somebody in contempt of Congress was stupid? Yes, of course I do. I'm not, whatever. Funny as hell, like I said, funny as hell. But to watch the mainstream media news try and spin it into something to divide the American people even more without cause is even better. How can she say what she said to a black woman? Because only black women wear fake eyelashes. How can you do that? She's black. Don't you know what those people have been through their entire lives? She's black. I'm surprised he didn't bring up the slavery issue. Or maybe Marjorie Taylor, maybe that's coming this afternoon. I don't know. That could be on tonight's show. Marjorie Taylor Greene should pay reparations to Jasmine Crockett because of the slavish statement that she made about her eyebrows. I don't know. That could be coming up next week, tonight. I have no idea. But anyway. Yeah, your mama jokes. There you go. That's a good one. What's up, Jeff B? How you doing? Yes, drag queens do wear fake eyelashes. That's absolutely true. But only black drag queens wear fake eyelashes. I what's up, Steve? How are you? I don't like his tone either. And when they say that we're trying to, I'll even go one better, because a lot of you guys were here last night when we had the Thursday Night Throwdown show, and Reverend Rant was on the show, and one of his big things that he always talks about is unity. People coming together and being unified is what's going to overcome all of this stuff. With this kind of information that we got going on and being spewed at us, how are we ever going to be unified? We can't even get our own elected representatives to act like human beings, no less the American people, to act unified. Because this whole thing was about dividing. And then the Cyclops turned it into a black and white thing, to a race thing. And the black lady turned it into a Nazi thing. How do you unite behind that? But whatever. Okay. So we had to get that out of the way. DPFX 99999. What's going on? How are you doing? We got that over there. Dems were there all day while the Republicans were in New York missing votes. Oh, well. It's okay. I'll tell you what, hip to the clip. I think that I think I said this, it must have been yesterday. I don't know if it was yesterday. I don't know. This, like I said, it's been a long week. The last couple of days, to be perfectly honest, that treatment that I took has really been messing with me. So I'm pretty sure that today's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, so see, and I just forgot what the hell I was going to say. Hold on. Let me get back to hip to the clip. Oh, yeah. I think I said the other day, whenever I said it, that I think that the people going to the Trump trial and supporting him and using his gag order against the judge because other people are speaking out for him, I think that's a positive. Red Gun, thank you for the shade.
You see, I take these glasses off. She looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face.
Thank you. Hold on. I got a text message from Mrs. PTP. She's absolutely a mean woman. I think that's why I love her so much. Yeah, I think that advocating for Donald Trump and not being where while he's gagged, I think that's a good thing. The judge can't gag everybody, so that's just my opinion, and I think I said that this week. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, that's always, if the Democrats don't like it, too friggin' bad. Who cares? Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to move on to. When I heard this, I threw up in my mouth. And Mrs. PTP, if you're listening, that this next story may be attributed to the nausea that I'm feeling. I'm not sure. It could be the chemo treatment that I took, or it could be this story. I haven't figured it out yet. But I'm lucky. I have medication for nausea, so I'm okay. But this story is it did make me throw up a little bit in my mouth because it scares the shit out of me. But it also tells me something, and it should tell you guys something too, because this is not the first time that I've heard this story, but it's been a long time since I've heard this story. So let's play it, and then I'll try not to throw up in my mouth.
Continues campaigning. Vice President Kamala Harris, did you hear this? May be planning her exit strategy. A new Politico piece says, quote, Vice President Kamala Harris has joked to friends that she may return to California to run for governor if Democrats lose the White House this fall, taking a page from Richard Nixon.
A Harris spokeswoman did respond to Politico saying that did not happen.
Sure.
This November, the vice president will be preparing to be inaugurated for the second term of the Biden.
This is not... Holy shit on a cracker. This is not the first time that I've heard this. Right? It's been a long time, like maybe 6-7 months, maybe even more, that I've heard that if shit doesn't go right with Kamala Harris, that she would run for governor of California. What this now coming out telling me is that there really is no hope for the Democrats to I don't know what that stuff is. Yeah, I think it's generic for Zofran, Mayor. I don't know what it is. But what's up, Cherokee George? How you doing? Happy retirement. That's absolutely fantastic. Welcome, welcome. This is telling me, and I don't know about you guys because I live in California, so it's telling me that the Democrat Party, which I've been saying this for over 2 years now, probably more than that, is on a downward spiral, kind of like a death nail spiral. No, Mayor Newsom's term is up in 2 years. He can't rerun again. But if Newsom steps down to run for president, she can run for governor. You see? So, I mean, it's a whole thing. That's a scenario that we talked about a long time ago, too. But could you imagine? California right now is like $78 billion in debt. Could you imagine if Kamala Harris was in charge of the budget for the next 2 fiscal quarters? Holy shit. That would be something that would probably destroy this place. I mean, it's not like we're in great shape now.
Harris administration. Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor and joins us now. Joe, the VP thinking about a plan B if they lose, according to this report. What do you think about it?
I think internal polling, just like public polling, is...
Intolerant leftists, you know what? Yes, I do think she'd win. Because as much as I want to say that California is trying to go red, there's too many overwhelming counties here that are going to vote for Democrats no matter what. It doesn't matter if, they're standing over a body with a machete and a head in their hand. They're going to vote Democrat no matter what. It's a very sad situation. I'd love to see California go Republican again, like we did back in the day. But I think people would vote for her, and I can actually see it happening. That's why it makes me a little nervous.
Telling the Biden people that this could be a one-term presidency and vice presidency. Look, if she runs for office in California, that's a great job for her, because basically if you're governor of California, you could do whatever you want. I mean, think about Gavin Newsom, right? Went to the French Laundry at the height of COVID, was pushing mask mandates, and meanwhile he's at dinner with all these people at this fancy restaurant in Napa. Remember the Super Bowl that was in Los Angeles, Bengals-Rams, where you even had kids masked inside the stadium, but there he is partying with Magic Johnson without a mask. Look, here's the bottom line. Nobody likes Kamala Harris, even in California, because when she ran for president back in 2020, when she didn't even get to 2020, she dropped out in 2019, she was polling 6th in California. She is the lowest polling vice president in history, lower than Dick Cheney, lower than Dan Quayle. You say potato, I say potato, Todd.
What's crazy to me, if you factor in her time as AG.
When she was the attorney general of California, and she was putting people in jail for misdemeanor marijuana offenses, and then when their time was up, she was doing all kinds of illegal things to keep them in jail and all that stuff. They still voted for her to be attorney general again. So I don't understand why nobody in they say nobody in California wants her. Thank you for the cookie, intolerant leftist, and the other cookie too. Wow, hold on. Thank you for the 2 cookies, and Pam, welcome. Thank you for the shades. Thank you. Yeah, I don't understand that at all, because she was pretty damn popular as the attorney general
in California. And you look at all the potential candidates that are actually running or thinking of running in California. She is the most far-right candidate out of all of them, which is absolutely insane and really does underscore the state of California. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Peter Doocy asked KJP about this rumor yesterday. Here's what KJP said.
Have you heard?
Oh, no.
That Vice President Harris is telling friends that she may go back to California and run for governor if the election does not go her way?
That is news to me. I would say this. The Vice President has been a great partner to this president. He is appreciative of the work that she has done. It is impressive what she's been able to do.
She hasn't done anything. Literally hasn't done a damn thing. She has failed at every assignment that the president supposedly gave her. At this point I would be happy to see General Kirby, and I can't stand that dude. He annoys the shit out of me. Take over this press secretary position. At least he has some inflection in his voice, and he doesn't read out of a book. For Jean-Claude Van Damme to say that she had never heard of this, Politico is pretty much one of her go-to periodicals, her go-to periodical to get her op-ed information to put in her little notebook. So I find that very hard to believe. What it does is, and just like I said, it's making the Democrats, telling you what the Democrats are feeling. How scared they are that they're going to lose this election to Trump, even if Trump gets convicted of a felony. And that she's looking for an out. Because she's still young. She's only in her, 50s? So she's still looking for an out. She could be governor of California, and then Gavin Newsom could run for president. Yeah, this broad, she's a diversity hire. That's all she is. She's probably the worst press secretary ever.
You know how politicians use the media. What is really going on here? Is that legitimate surprise, or is there potentially a plan in place that people at the upper echelons know about that we're just learning about now?
Some people have good fake laughs, and some don't have very good fake laughs. KJP doesn't have the very good fake laugh, right? So, ha, ha, ha. First I've heard of that. Look, what else is Karine Jean-Pierre going to say in that situation? But she did say that with all the things that the vice president has accomplished, can anybody here, including the floor directors, name one thing that Kamala Harris has accomplished as vice president? You got guys?
No.
Yeah, they're shaking their heads. She was supposed to fix the border and the root causes of it, and it is still a crisis. The bottom line is Kamala Harris doesn't exactly have the best LinkedIn page right now as far as a resume to run on for anything. So it'll be interesting if she does run for California governor. But Richard Nixon did back in 1962 after he was vice president. And he lost. The problem is he won the presidency in 1968, so we could see a future Kamala Harris if she follows the same path in 2032 or something.
Thanks for that thought headed into the weekend.
Okay, we want to talk about two people who've never been in the same sentence, but now they are. The New York Times is reporting that Michael Cohen is getting some words of encouragement from Rosie O'Donnell, and they have been communicating through text messages. One text message exchange sent Monday before Cohen took the stand was Rosie O'Donnell writing this: "Breathe, relax, tell the truth. You got this. I love you. You're doing great." Cohen replied, quote, "Thank you and truly love you." Two people bonded by hate of another person, Joe.
That seems to be the case here, right? And boy, Michael Cohen and Rosie O'Donnell could hang out a lot after this trial. How devastating was that yesterday, right? So when you got Rosie on your side,
we're going to talk about this next.
Some of the courtroom color said that there were one juror in particular, very, very tuned into everything that's going on, was taking notes during the brutal cross-examination. So you got to wonder.
I say move over Taylor and Travis. The media has a new favorite couple.
Could you imagine Rosie, Michael Cohen?
Okay, so the next clip we're going to talk about is about the Cohen trial, but it's through CNN. It's funny as hell. So the whole Kamala thing, we're going to finish this off because I would hope that Kamala would once Trump is in office, that they would just fade into the sunset because I don't think California can take a Kamala Harris. And unfortunately, I think that there's going to be a lot of people that would vote for her. One, because she was the vice president. Two, because she has the whole victimhood bullshit going on and all that. I mean, just the whole thing. Poor me. Woman of color, yada, 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 yada. The first woman of color to blah, 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 blah. Can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. It'd be nice if they're retired, yeah. How truthful and honorable Cohen is, right? Oh, my God. Now, Cherokee George, they caught him lying yesterday like 3 times on the stand or whenever that day was. I don't know, whatever they were talking about it. Danny? What's up, Danny? Yeah, they caught him like 3 times lying. But you're going to see, when we show the next clip with CNN, you're going to see the true reaction of what happened yesterday. Because when you have CNN pundits doing what they're going to be, I'm going to show you what they're doing here. You know it's an issue. It's an issue. I personally think that even if you hate Donald Trump, and you're a juror that has any integrity, this case needs to be thrown out. Just saying. I'm just saying. Let's watch the next clip. It should be pretty good.
For Congress, he says that.
Oops, that's not that clip. Remove that one. This is it right here.
If I'm a juror, and again, it's impossible. It's impossible to read these jurors. But if I'm a juror, and I've heard, and I've been warned that Michael Cohen lies. The prosecutors have said this. They've set it up. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for he's lied in the past repeatedly. I don't know if a juror is prepared for he lied to this jury 2 days ago, but now he's really telling the truth. I mean, I don't know. Does a juror make a difference between, oh yeah, those are his old lies, but he's really now telling the truth?
Jurors understand any.
So that's Anderson Cooper, right? Telling people that 2 days ago, Michael Cohen lied to the jury. They caught him lying to the jury. But now he's telling the truth. Even listen to how aggressive Anderson Cooper, right? He's telling people this because they know that all the time that they spent on this, there's not going to be a conviction. Because the prosecutor's star witness got caught lying on the stand. And they're seeing this happen in front of them.
He cleaned this up in the afternoon. He was stronger after lunch. Memory is not perfect, okay? People do not have perfect recollections.
Okay, but
we're going to get redirect.
That works for almost all witnesses except for an inveterate liar.
So, but let me just argue
that's a really hard argument to make.
Let me just argue one other thing, because before it's going to leave my mind, which is if this phone call, if his testimony previously was, it was so urgent that I talked to Trump because I got to check in with the boss on everything I do, and I'm going forward with the Stormy Daniels payment, and he's got to approve it. So I'm calling him now. It's going to be a quick phone call. I call Keith Schiller because I want to talk to the boss. If that was so urgent and in his mind, why is he obsessing about a 14-year-old boy who's allegedly prank calling him and contacting Keith Schiller saying, I got to talk to you about this weird phone number that shows up? It's not, I got to talk to the boss. There's something really urgent. And calling Keith Schiller and talking to the boss, and then after that conversation is over, saying to Schiller, oh, by the way, there's this phone number. It's not. It seems like the 14-year-old boy is the reason he's calling.
What they're asking, I mean, you just basically made the defense's case for them. Memories are not perfect. That is exactly.
Just think. There was no urgent phone call. He made it up. He was being called by some kid on his phone, and they're trying to defend him, saying that memory is blah 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 blah. No. There was never a phone call because Michael Cohen lied about it and got caught on the stand.
What they're saying to Michael Cohen, that your memory is not perfect and you don't remember exactly that you even spoke to Donald Trump on this phone call. I mean, his most devastating line after the text with the 14-year-old was, I believe I spoke with Mr. Trump. He didn't even double down on it after he was pressed on it. And so that is exactly their entire case here, that they've been saying, Michael Cohen, how can you not remember this, but then you remember this phone call with Donald Trump?
The best part of cross-examination was Todd Blanchard's follow-up, which was the jury is not interested in what you believe.
Which he got objected on.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's the kind of comment that you make. You don't care whether that objection's sustained. You're communicating to the jury.
And he said that direct looking at the jurors, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So just remember, that's a good one, Eric. That'd be a good T-shirt. Just remember, this is Alvin Bragg's star witness in a case against the president, who can't remember if he was calling and talking to a 14-year-old or asking the Donald Trump whether he should release a payment for $130,000 to a hooker. Now, I don't know about you, but if I made that phone call, I would remember it, being that I had to mortgage my house and lie to my wife to do it, which means that the call never happened. Dong, what's going on? Right? The call never happened. They called him out on the stand for it as a lie. It never happened. And look at these people on CNN saying that Michael Cohen just made the defense's case. There is no evidence. That's great, isn't it? When you have Anderson Cooper, sphincter is crunching up and he's talking so aggressively, it's because everything is falling apart for these people.
I as Caitlin said, look, I think the issue with Michael Cohen is that particularly when you have animus toward another person, which they have demonstrated pretty clearly, it is also plausible for the jury to believe that your memory is colored by your desire to see Donald Trump behind bars. And that's why this moment, I think, is so devastating, because he is so crystal clear on everything that is bad for Donald Trump's case, but on everything from the mundane to other things that apparently at the time he was really worked up about. He cannot remember it. And that is both a problem from the case's perspective, but I just think in general for Michael Cohen, this is the issue with him, is that you cannot always be sure. Yes, he's been telling this story for 6 years, but in those 6 years, he's been trying to get Donald Trump convicted of crimes.
Well, it was also fascinating.
Okay, so for 6 years, listen to the stories that he told over the 6 years. I had egg rolls the other day, Eric, just to let you know. From Jack in the Box, too. They were pretty damn good. Over the 6 years, Michael Cohen has written books, right? Made money off of Donald Trump writing books. He's made money off of Donald Trump on podcasts, my Mea Culpa podcast, and the other one that he has. Now he's on TikTok making money. By the way, we're getting very close to the 1 million subscribers right here on the PTP podcast. So if you'd like to subscribe, I'm only 900,900 away to get to that million subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, I think it's like $5 a month. Please be, please subscribe. And thank you guys for all the gold pills. I appreciate that. I'm doing the Michael Cohen thing right now. I'm trying to get subscribers. All the people who supported Michael Cohen over the last 6 years when he lied about getting Donald Trump arrested and this, and I did this, and the Martelardos and the whole 9 yards. The only thing he has left is TikTok. And once those people realize that they've been shilled, Michael Cohen is going to go bankrupt very quickly. Very, very quickly.
In the courtroom today, because I must admit, I have not listened to Michael Cohen's podcast, Mea Culpa.
Bullshit.
But it was shocking, but a moment of it was played in the courtroom today. And it was so fascinating because, Michael Cohen's testimony has been very even-keeled.
Even demeanor.
Very rational, very yes ma'am, no sir, all this. And suddenly they played this thing and there's a guy screaming in the room like,
yes, ma'am. No, sir. The guy's a lawyer. He knows how to talk to a jury. He's a lawyer. What do you expect him to do? Oh, wait, he's going to freak out. Here we go.
Using expletives.
No, it's just normal Michael.
No, it's just regular. But first of all, there's also a rap. As somebody who does a podcast, I was like, is this his actual normal speaking voice in a podcast? Because it's literally yelling, and it's clearly written down because he's speaking in a way that's not. So he's written down these yells, like it's got to be all in caps. I mean, it was shocking. I was like, it was,
between that, just the volume of him, and compared with his very calm demeanor, that was. I also was like, whoa.
I mean, it filled the courtroom. I don't know if somebody turned up the volume too loud. I was like, is this intentionally too loud? Oh, wait, I'm told we have a clip of the podcast. Let's play it, and play it loud, because it was quite loud in the courtroom, I got to tell you. Let's hear it.
Volume.
I truly hope that this man ends up in prison. It won't bring back the year that I lost or the damage done to my family, but revenge is a dish best served cold. And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family.
So, yeah, that...
But hold on a second. That was from his podcast, right? He wants this man to go down and rot in prison for what he did to me and my family. What did he do to you and your family? Because from what I heard, and you all, Donald Trump never promised you a position in the White House, number one. Number two, Donald Trump didn't tell you to steal taxi cab medallions and get a felony charge for that. Number three, you weren't instructed to lie to Congress and get held in contempt of Congress and go to jail for lying to Congress. You did that. Donald Trump didn't do that. He's not on trial for that. He was never accused of that. He denied everything that you blamed for him because it was a made-up story, because you got caught. And then you manufactured over 6 years every scenario that you can think about because you went to prison. You're the one who fucked up your family. You're the one who lied to your wife. You're the one who put your kids in that situation. Donald Trump didn't do that. You did it. And now you think because you don't want to take personal responsibility for your fuck-ups, you're going to go on your podcast and start yelling and screaming that you want to see Donald Trump in jail. Then you're going to sit your dumb ass up on a courtroom on the witness stand and lose your shit. Can anybody write a better book? What's up? You saw it here? Michael Rappaport 2.0. There you go. I mean, in all seriousness, you couldn't write this out if you tried. Let's continue.
What was played
Do
in
you think
court?
he's a little biased? I don't know.
Well,
but there is, I think, a fundamental question about Michael Cohen as a witness, which is the jury going to listen to him and the cross and the history of lying and say, the hell with this guy? I mean, just write him off. Or are they going to say, look, you know, he's had this traumatic experience. He went to prison because he thought he was helping Donald Trump.
But he didn't go to prison because he thought he was helping Donald Trump. He went to prison because he committed campaign finance violations. Because he had a scam going on. Because he lied to Congress. He went to prison for that. Not because of Donald Trump. None of the evidence proves that Donald Trump ordered him to do anything. I am still under the impression, allegedly, that the payoff was because he was fucking Stormy Daniels and not Donald Trump. Otherwise, his wife would have been involved in mortgaging their house. Not surprised. Oh my God, you mortgaged a house for $130? $130,000? But that's okay, though. That's okay.
Parse each statement and see whether those statements are corroborated. And this is really, I think, the prosecution's great hope. And this is why they examined him the way they did on direct, which was scaffolding his testimony with text messages, phone records. Now, the big problem with today is those text messages came back to bite him, at least in this one exchange. But it is also worth mentioning that, you know, he had years of contact with Donald Trump. It's not in debate that whether he could, you know, whether he was in touch with him. Right. If he's mistaken about this one phone call, one prosecution response is, so what?
No.
He was in touch for 10 years.
But it's not just this one phone call. And one, you also have to remember there are two attorneys on this jury who were listening to Michael Cohen admit that he agrees it's unethical for an attorney to record their client. They're listening to that. Todd Blanche is trying to catch him in other inconsistencies. He seems like he's about to catch him in another lie on Monday. This is something I'm watching because he asked him about recording conversations with reporters, which Michael Cohen said he did pretty often. But he said he stopped after the 2016 campaign. And then Todd Blanche pressed him on that. And he said, I would have to check. And Todd Blanche responded with this knowing tone. Well, we'll check together in a minute. So it seems like he's just catching.
So Dong, that's pretty funny. Press 1 if you fuck Stormy Daniels. So what I'm glad, because I mentioned this before, when we found out that he did this, that they're going to go after him for attorney-client privilege. which is something I said that Donald Trump really needs to do, because what he did was he recorded a conversation as an attorney talking to his client, and then took that conversation about business and put it out into the public, breaking attorney-client privilege. I think they're going to get him on Monday. Let's hope so, because that really something I said needs to be handled, because that's bad news right there. But I hope she's right, or he's right, whatever the.
Maybe it doesn't change the actual documents, but it could really undermine the credibility.
But Caitlin, this is a controversial view, but
yeah, we got to be careful with. I got my finger on the button just in case Toobin decides to do something nasty. We're plenty aware of what's going on.
Attorneys are also human beings, and they understand that sometimes people do stupid things. Sometimes people say when they're angry, and they hold grudges. That doesn't mean every word they say is a lie, and that's the challenge for the prosecutors to say, look, we know he lied, and they brought out a lot of that on direct. Unfortunately for them, not everything. I mean, they certainly should have brought out this whole thing about the 14-year-old, but. This wasn't a total surprise to the jury, I suspect. Obviously, I don't know.
And that's why this case, from day one, starting with David Pecker and the August 2015 meeting in Trump Tower, where you have Pecker agreeing that there is going to be this activity, this catch and kill activity to benefit the campaign, and going all throughout the testimony.
But that's not a crime. That's not a crime. The whole thing here is you have to prove there was criminal activity. And based on Michael Cohen's testimony, catching and killing a story through the National Enquirer and David Pecker was normal. It wasn't the first time it was done. It was normal. It happened all the time. Rich people do it all the time. No crime.
With those corroborating notes in Alan Weisselberg's hand, this is one tile in a mosaic. And even today, Cohen was much stronger in the afternoon. And the jury does not necessarily fixate on that one moment.
Well, it was also interesting because until the exciting end right before the lunch break,
I agree.
I kept sitting there wondering, well, all Todd Blanche is talking about is just, lies by Michael Cohen about things in general, not anything to do with a document that was signed about Stormy Daniels or anything to do with Stormy Daniels or anything to do with hush money payments. And to me, it felt very meandering. And, I was like, okay, yeah, we know the guy has lied a lot, and that's kind of baked in.
Except for one thing. And that's another blockbuster area of this testimony, which I think is extraordinary. It doesn't seem to be something many people have picked up on. And that is the following. It is an extraordinary thing, in my experience, for a cooperating witness to take the stand and admit under oath at a trial that they pleaded guilty to something that they didn't commit. In other words, perjuring themselves at the time of the plea allocution. Now, look, I know there's all kinds of stuff here about replaying the how many times can he be untruthful and how many times is he untruthful under oath. But I have to tell you, at least as I learned being a prosecutor, if you have a
Now, the question is, which I think is a good question, are they going to prosecute Michael Cohen for being untruthful or perjuring himself under oath as the star witness for the prosecution? Lying about a phone call, right? All the stuff the three things that they caught him lying on. And that that the defense pointed out to the jury. He's being untruthful because this is what he said the first time. What's going to happen on Monday? Is he going to get caught lying again? And will he be held accountable for lying under oath in a courtroom by the judge who puts a gag order on Donald Trump, but doesn't put a gag order on him or any other witness that they can go out and make money hand over fist talking about the trial? See, that's something that they should be talking about.
Operating witness that can't tell the truth at a plea allocution, that means that witness is basically worthless.
He testified he lied to the judge in this prior case, and
denying that his plea was voluntary.
And then when Todd Blanche asked him, well, what do you think the judge would have thought of you? You know, don't you think the judge would like to have known you were lying? I mean, don't you think that would have impacted his decision?
And it would have.
And Michael Cohen was like, I don't know.
No, he said the judge was in on it.
Yeah, oh
he
God.
said the assistant U.S. attorneys
That's
and the
just
judge
nuts.
was in on it.
I mean, that's why.
a
And then Todd Blanche's cross-examination. So basically, whenever you get into a problem, it's always blame somebody else. Blame President Trump. Blame the judge. Blame the Justice Department. Blame the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. Blame Congress. I mean, how many places do you have to go?
Didn't we just say that? That nothing that Michael Cohen has done is his fault. This guy's got it spot on. Blame Congress, blame Trump, blame the judge, blame the attorneys. It's never Michael Cohen's fault. He's just the angel in this whole thing. Right? He's the one who's getting text messages from Rosie O'Donnell, hoping to put Donald Trump in jail because he called Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig. Even CNN is looking at this and saying, this is stupid. This is stupid. Just like we said from the beginning.
Where this guy has lied many times under oath, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's not his fault.
Bob.
I mean, I got to tell you, in summation, that's pretty powerful evidence to a jury to say you shouldn't believe anything this guy says. And if you have to rely on his testimony in any fashion whatsoever in order to convict Donald Trump, i.e., in order to fix Donald Trump's intent, you have a reasonable doubt. You can't have anything else but a reasonable doubt.
And yet in that moment, when Blanche tried to push him and said, so you're not accepting responsibility, he said, I do accept responsibility. He stood up to Blanche.
For the facts, but he doesn't accept responsibility, Norm, for the most important thing, which is he's saying that he didn't plead guilty to a crime.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he didn't plead guilty to a crime. Yeah, he did. When you plead guilty, that's when they give you a sentence and put you in a prison cell. And he was in a prison for a year. Whether it had been a cush prison or whatever, he was still in jail for a year. You committed a crime. You said I was guilty and you went to jail. That had nothing to do with Donald Trump. Cherokee George, you're probably right about that. When CNN decides to tell the truth, we're probably close to the end of the world. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, so Donald Trump is definitely getting his money's worth with these attorneys that he has. The one girl attorney, I don't know her name or whatever her name is. She does very well on the media. She does very well when she's on the talk shows and so on and so forth. And the guy that he has cross-examining these people, I mean, they tore apart Stormy Daniels' credibility, caught her in lie after lie after lie. Did a great job there. And like the guy said, you can't have anything but reasonable doubt. There is no way that you're going to convince any juror, I don't care how friggin' biased they are, that the two star witnesses in this case are telling the truth beyond a reasonable doubt. WD-40. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the cookie. Cookies! Yeah, there's no way you can say beyond a reasonable doubt that any evidence that these people put forward, even including David Pecker, was a crime, number one, and number two was enough to put an ex-president in jail. There's not even any evidence to prove it, and your star witnesses are liars, and they're being proven liars on the stand in front of the jury. It's baffling to me. But hey, you know what? When you like Cherokee George says, when CNN starts telling the truth, you know shit's falling apart. Shit is falling apart. Yeah. And I hope, and I don't wish ill will on anybody anymore. To tell you the honest to God's truth, I'm not in the position to wish ill will on anybody. But Michael Cohen has caused division in this country on an unprecedented level. I think everybody would agree with me that people need to be held accountable for their actions. I think Michael Cohen needs to be held accountable for his actions just for the strife he has put the country through in the last 6 years, 5-6 years. People should not be contributing to his podcasts, buying his books, listening to his TikTok thing, whatever. They should not be subscribing to him because he's a failure, not only as a lawyer and a husband and a father, but as a human being. It's better that you subscribe to my channel, which very easy to subscribe because we're trying to get to 1 million subscribers here on Pilled, than Michael Cohen's channel. So I'm just saying. That's right. Steve Cohen is the pecker. And I'm glad that Toobin didn't whip anything out and hurt anybody. That's always something I worry about when that guy's on the screen. But anyway, yeah, what's going to happen is just like with Michael Avenatti. Michael Avenatti was somebody that I saw coming a mile away. In the early days of my YouTube channel, I did a lot of stuff about Michael Avenatti and Stormy Daniels. And I was right. You know, I was right about how this guy was going to turn out. I see Michael Cohen going the same direction. Maybe not in prison, but he's going. His people are going to turn on him. All the people who are supporting him are going to turn on him when Donald Trump gets acquitted or gets a hung jury, and they're going to walk away from it. And then Michael Cohen is going to, like I said, either fade into bankruptcy. He's going to lose his houses and his cars and everything else, and his podcasts and all that stuff. And it would be well deserved. And like I said, I don't wish ill will on anybody, but how much strife has he put through the country through? Anyway, they are all con men and women. You're right. You're absolutely right. Avenatti was a sleazy lawyer. He really was. He was a sleazy lawyer, and he did his job. Right, his job was to be a sleazy lawyer, and everybody saw it. And what's up, Plain Truth? Everybody saw it, and now he's where he needs to be. And he realizes that, you know what? There's no gain in lying anymore or bullshitting. I did call it, didn't I, Helen Dixon? Because Helen been with me a long time. She remembers those days. And Jeff B over there too remembers those days when I used to do the Avenatti live streams. I did a lot of them. But you see, he kind of faded out when he started talking the truth about Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels. They didn't call him to the witness stand. Right? Nobody called him to the witness stand because nobody wants the truth to come out. They don't want to really know what really went on. That Stormy Daniels was doing nefarious shit with Michael Cohen to make money, allegedly. Hey, Dem Turn Red, how you doing? Yeah, Avenatti did say Stormy was lying. You're absolutely right, Mayor. And how fast did that go out of the news cycle? It went out of the news cycle the next day. The next day, because nobody wants They want to hold up Donald Trump from campaigning. They're still reeling about the New Jersey rally that he had. That is still in the news. They are so scared that he had 100,000 people in New Jersey. That scared the shit out of them. But they're not understanding the pilled whisperer. What's going on? They don't understand that if Donald Trump gets convicted, how, I have no idea. I couldn't even fathom how they can have a conviction here. But if that does happen, if a conviction does happen, his street cred is going to go through the roof. Through the roof. Smart Poker, what's going on? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's going to go through the roof. What's going to happen is Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels' husband, already said that if Donald Trump doesn't get convicted and go to jail, they're leaving the country. I didn't even know she had a husband. Whatever. Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, all these people are going to go into oblivion. If he gets convicted, you can guarantee 100% he'll become president of the United States from behind bars. He'll be holding state dinners in the prison chow hall. And probably would not give one shit about it. Because that's our that's our Constitution. You can be a convicted felon and still be president. So anyway. Okay. Let's see. Oh, very possible, Jim Bob. I have no idea. I saw a clip about that. Her husband and her leaving the country. I don't know if he's a porn star or not. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay. I got one more clip to play. But I'm going to give myself a second just to hang out for a minute because I feel kind of funky. So. Yeah, that's right, Cherokee George. They're eating their own. It's funny to watch, I think, and that's why I played the CNN clip, is because there's no way that they could have justified anything, and Anderson Cooper was getting all angry and getting all aggressive. I thought that was funny. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna hang out for just a couple of minutes. I'm gonna get a drink, and we'll move on to the next one. Thingy right there. Ooh, that was cold. What does that say for Donald Trump? You saw it here. Huh? Mm-hmm. Like the Marco Rubio thing with the small hands. Remember that? The next clip we're going to show is from the Young Turks. Of course, it's from Anna Kasparian, or Abel, or whatever she is, wherever he is. I don't know what it is. But it's something I wanted to talk about that I think is not fair to the American people. And they're gonna talk about it. And I think it should happen. And I think Trump was. Let's play it. Let's play it. And I'll explain myself. Yeah, I'm okay, Helen. I just you know, I'm okay. I just need a minute. You know, too many friggin' pills I'm taking. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but let's play it again.
Remember, Donald Trump mocked Joe Biden's rules for the 2 presidential debates that they are set to have, and even poked fun at the president for allegedly being afraid to debate RFK Jr. That is the third-party candidate who was originally running as a Democrat and later decided to register and run as an independent. Now, laughably, Trump later explained why he also does not want RFK Jr. to be part of the debates, which is pretty hilarious.
The pilled whisperer, don't worry about the conversation being over your head. I try to break it down as simply as possible, because I am not the sharpest bulb in the lamp. So I try to break it down simple just for me. So just hang in there. You'll get it.
This is what he wrote on Truth Social this morning. Crooked Joe Biden does not want RFK Jr. in the debates because Jr. is far left. Him and they would be debating over the same territory, like ridiculous open borders and the Green New scam, both of which are killing our country. He's also sharper and far more intelligent than Joe, all making for a bad combination of ingredients. Then he goes on to talk about how he also doesn't want RFK Jr. to be part of the debates. I'm gonna get back to that in a moment, but first, Waz.
But hold on, before she goes to Waz there. RFK Jr. RFK Jr. and the other 2 candidates that are running independent or Green Party, Marianne Williamson and Cornell Williams, I think his name is. I don't know. Cornell something or other. These people are actually legitimate candidates that are running on legitimate platforms as third-party candidates. Now, I don't know if you think so, but do you? Here, we'll just do a little. We'll do a little survey in the chats. Put a number 1 if you think that the debates should only be between Biden and Trump, or put a number 2 if you think the debates should be between all candidates that are on the ballot, meaning RFK Jr., Marianne Williamson's, and Cornell West. I think I don't remember what his name is. But everybody who's on the ballot, these people, these third-party candidates are on the ballots in a lot of states. Cornell West, I do his name was something like that. Or 1 if you think it should only be between Trump and Biden, or a 2 if it should be between everybody. And we'll continue playing this.
This is classic.
Is RFK Jr. more left-wing than Biden is?
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you. Thank you.
I guess I honestly don't know what the guy is. I don't know that I would ascribe a wing to RFK Jr. Maybe he's a wing nut, whatever the wing is. But I don't know that that's the case. I just love the idea of Trump, who's been going out of his way in recent weeks to disparage RFK Jr.
Right.
Because he's seen that, like, in the polls, like, Republicans have a decent.
Okay, now a lot of Cherokee George, a lot of people say that the third-party candidates are throwaway votes. But remember this: in 2020, the young vote, all this shit that Joe Biden promised. Jim Bob, I do agree with that, but also we got to remember that there's also an independent candidate. Also, it's not just the Democrats and Republicans. There are other political parties too, that can be nominated by their own people, as long as they have the right numbers. I'm just saying, but I agree with you. I agree with that. Hey, Raven 2000, what's going on? Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Cherokee George was saying, Oil Man, what's going on, Oil Man? Our throwaway votes. Yeah, absolutely right. But during the 2020 election, supposedly, a lot of the votes that Joe Biden got because he promised all that, forgiveness for loans and all the bullshit that he promised were third-party voters. Right? The millennial or lower vote, the 18 to 25 vote. Those are the people who are going to vote for people like Cornel West and Marianne Williamson and RFK. That's what I think. I think that Biden stole those people from the third party during the 2020 election. But Biden didn't deliver. That's the problem. So let's continue here.
Favorable opinion of the guy. So he's been going out of his way, and I think quite shrewdly, to trash the guy, but to imply that only Biden is the one who doesn't want the guy, which, by the way, there was a debate, little board or whatever. Biden and Trump have basically told that board to go screw off. And the campaigns have negotiated together on the structure of the debate. So how could it be that Biden is the only one who did it when you guys have collaborated on the debate terms?
Yes. Okay. I love that you brought that up because I want to update my commentary on this story from yesterday when the news broke. Guys, it's pretty obvious that Trump and Biden, the two camps, had coordinated everything ahead of time, right? Because think about it. Biden comes out with his video yesterday in the morning. And soon after that, Trump has his response and accepts the terms of the debate. You already have CNN agreeing to host the debate. Things don't move that quickly. These were already predetermined. Things didn't play out in real.
I have to agree with her. She's absolutely right. Things don't move this quickly when it comes to politics or debates or this, that, or the other thing. This was all predetermined. This is one time I'm going to have to agree with whatever his name is.
Real time yesterday. So yes, there was definitely coordination behind the scenes and everyone knew what to expect. Everyone meaning those in the two political camps. And
yeah, but Ranger, you noticed I put that in quotation marks. That's quotations. We know what went on.
We saw it all play out yesterday, but keep in mind it was predetermined. And yeah, you're right, Waz. Since it was predetermined, of course Trump agreed that there should be no third-party candidate there. Now look, they're making it incredibly difficult for the third-party candidate to qualify. So they're not saying that they're flat out banning the third-party candidate, because I'm sure that would lead to some ire directed toward CNN and the hosts of the.
I'm pretty sure that Trump had something to do with the debate, Slaybell. If there's like we said, if there's even going to be a debate, but he's going to keep it with the campaign, right? Supposedly the campaign is going to negotiate what's going on. So, but like she said, it seems like this was all predetermined, like the script was written out already. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Like I said, I'm not even sure if there's going to be a debate.
Debates, but what they're doing is they're making it difficult by saying that the candidates need to secure at least 15% of the vote in 4 national polls. Third-party candidates will only be allowed to participate if they can qualify for enough state ballots to potentially win 270 electoral college votes. It's not entirely impossible, but it's pretty much impossible. Like it's not going to be easy for RFK Jr. to qualify, and I don't think he is going to qualify. But let's go back to.
But they're making it impossible for him to qualify. If he's a legitimate candidate on a legitimate political party, which is now the Independent Party, because the Democrats pretty much told him that we're not going to support you or give you any money or give you anything, blah, 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 blah. He went to, the Independent Party, is still running and campaigning for president. I believe he should have a chance to speak to the American people. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to vote for the dude. He's anti-gun, he's open border, yada, 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 yada. He's a fucking Democrat. His own family doesn't even want to support him. But still, the American way is to let people be heard. And that's just something that they're making up the rules to only have two people of their choosing to give us a choice on. Either Trump or Biden. That's it. If we make it to the convention, I saw Duppy in there throwing Mike Obama's picture again. We don't know what's going to happen at the convention, but we don't have any choice, right? They took our choice away from us. The Democrats took all choice away from their constituents by saying nobody's running against Joe Biden in the primaries. Nobody. You had 10 people running against Donald Trump. All these people, the Ramaswappies and everybody else who ran against Donald Trump in the primaries that lost bigly. But the Democrats said, nope, we're taking all your choice away from you. You just get to vote for Joe Biden in the primaries so Joe Biden can go up against Donald Trump. That's bullshit. To me, that's bullshit. And we all know that this is partisan politics and it's all a game and it's all a show. We know that. But what are you projecting to the American people by setting such parameters that you can't have anybody else to choose to vote for? I think that says a very bad thing about our country.
Trump, who on one end it has mocked Biden for not wanting RFK Jr. to be part of it, and then goes on to say he doesn't want RFK Jr. to be part of it himself. I don't care if Juniors joins the debate. He's got to come up with a better nickname. I don't think Junior is a good nickname, right? I don't know. I don't care if Junior joins the debate, but right now his polling numbers are very low. He is not properly qualified in the states, and he seems to be on a downward path. Junior needs more than his name to get on the stage. Look, all right, full disclosure, I've got no interest in RFK Jr. Okay, so like I know a lot of people are like, oh, you don't like Trump, you don't like Biden. What about RFK? What about a third party candidate? No, I've tried, and he has views. Think about what I can't stand about Biden the most at this moment, and it has to do with his unwavering commitment to Israel. I mean, RFK Jr. is the same, if not even more intense in his unwavering commitment to Israel. So,
oh, and by the way, Marianne Williamson is pro-Palestine, right? She's pro-Palestine. If you listen to Marianne Williamson, I'm sure nobody has. Only probably me. She says the minute that she gets elected president, all aid will stop to Israel. Everything would stop to Israel. Because she believes that there's a genocide happening in Palestine, and that she's pro-Israel, pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel. She believes in the BDS movement, divest movement, whatever it's called, all that shit. And this person over here, Ana Kasparian on the Young Turks, is anti-Israel. So, but she won't have a choice. And I know it's a whole fucked up scenario. I know that, but she wouldn't have a choice, according to the election committee. to vote for Marianne Williamson because they determined that they don't want her on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? They don't give, they're predetermining who you can vote for. And by that way, they're telling you that you're either going to vote for who we tell you or you're not going to vote at all. And this is America. That's wrong. Duppy, I know. Marianne Williamson is on a different plane than the rest of us. Trust me. I know. She's a different cookie. But you listen to her, right? You listen to her, and she can speak. There's no doubt that she can speak, and she hits a lot of points with a lot of people. But then again, she prays over rocks. So, and you're a rockologist, and I don't even think you do that. So, or a rock lobster. I don't know. You're something like that. A rockologist or an eartheologist. I don't know what the hell you are. You're something. You blow stuff up for a living. Let's continue.
Why would I support RFK Jr.? I mean, he would do exactly, if not more, than Biden would want. And plus, as we know, he's got no chance in winning, although he is garnering a significant portion of the votes that could hurt either candidate, meaning either Biden or Trump, which is why they both kind of hate him and hate his participation in this election.
You know, I'd like to see RFK, Jill Stein, and
Band Mom, that's a good one. Marianne Williamson is a fruitcake. Like I said, I agree 100%. But there's a lot of people who think that Trump is a fruitcake and Biden is a fruitcake. And these people are crazy criminals and this, that, and the other, but they're still allowed to be on the ballot. That's my whole point of that. Even though that they're a fruitcake, they're still allowed to be on the ballot. Or they're crazy, or they're criminals, or they're this, or they're that. My whole point is that they're taking away the choice from the American people. Fruitcake, I agree with 1,000%, because that lady's crazy.
Dr. Cornel West up there with Biden and Trump, if only to broaden the scope of what the debate parameters and conversation would be. And I think it is very important that although the debates don't actually matter in terms of swaying public opinion, I think it is important to get these cats on the record on big issues.
Yes.
And I think when you have more people on the stage, these folks have to be on the record again on a broader set of issues, and I think that would be nice for us as, you know, their subjects.
Well, voters deserve to know how the candidates differ from one another on these policy issues, right? Look, I haven't heard anything from Trump on how, like, I've heard a lot of criticism from Trump on how Biden has tackled various policy issues. Okay, great. How would you do it differently? Right. And by the way, I don't think it's helping.
But see, you don't, well, I think she does understand, but Trump already showed what he did differently, right? He showed what he did differently. The policies that he made at the southern border, stay in Mexico, Title 42, the whole 9 yards that had to do with the border that Joe Biden just wiped out, right? Over almost 4 years, 15 million people undocumented in this country, not including the other millions of gotaways that we don't even fucking know about, okay? The economy, the tariffs, the tax cuts, so everything that Donald Trump did during his presidency before COVID, that they're now that the Democrats are now using against Donald Trump, like it was his fault that there was a pandemic, which, not for nothing, but I don't know if you guys saw in a hearing that the United States paid for the gain of function yesterday. We paid for the gain of function with Dr. Fauci there in the NIH and at the Wuhan lab and all that bullshit. That was in a hearing yesterday. So basically, our government or the NIH went rogue and released a pandemic on the world. But that's a whole different thing. I didn't want to cover that today. That was too much. So let's continue here.
Trump to say, "Oh, I would give Israel even more than Biden is giving them now," and that if you're not voting for me as a Jewish American, well then, are you really Jewish American? Like basically doing what Biden did with black voters in 2020.
You ain't black, Jack.
Yeah, I hate that line of thinking because no group.
No, he didn't say that. Donald Trump didn't say anything to that effect at all. He said that, yes, he would support Israel against the terrorists, and that he would put the leash back on Iran that Joe Biden took off, and get them to be put them to heal again. That's what Donald Trump said, not what was she saying. Oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not a Jew. That's bullshit. He didn't say anything to that effect. Do I agree with Trump supporting Israel? No. But do I agree with Trump putting a leash back on Iran and strangling them monetarily so they can't fund Hamas? Yes. Does that help Israel? Yeah. But is it going to have us give billions of dollars to them? No. So basically, Trump is going to mute the money and focus where the problem is, which we should be doing now instead of giving them billions of dollars to kill the people that we're trying to feed. Anyway, whatever. Let's continue.
Whether we're talking about race, ethnicity, gender, like no group is a monolith, okay? When they talk about the Latino vote is not a monolith. There are deeply religious Latino voters who lean conservative, socially speaking. Obviously in Florida, you have a lot of conservative Cuban Americans who are considered part of the Latino vote. There's no monolith here. And I think maybe we stop treating people and various groups as monoliths because there are differences and gradations.
Yes, she's absolutely right about that. But the issue here is the deeply religious Latinos, including the Cubans, are the ones who are going to vote conservative, to vote Republican, because what they've been seeing over the last 3 years with Joe Biden is pretty much an authoritarian state. That it doesn't matter what the government says, Biden does what he wants. And there's a lot of people in Florida, California, and Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, all the border states that say, hey, this is what we're fleeing from. This is why we're coming here. And we're watching the United States government be sidestepped by Joe Biden. So all of those people that she's talking about being a monolith are the ones who are going to vote for Donald Trump because they see Biden as an authoritarian. It's as simple as that. I hope that's the point she's going to make.
And by the way, Trump, of course, put out a 4-minute long video attacking RFK Jr. previously. This was from last week. Let's take a look.
So Republicans, get it out of your mind that you're going to vote for this guy because he's conservative. He's not. And for those of you that want to vote because you think he's an anti-vaxxer, he's not really an anti-vaxxer. That's only his political moment. I'd even take Biden over Jr. because our country would last about a year or two longer than it would with Jr. It would collapse almost immediately. And his family, a radical left, a crazy left, a bunch of lunatics, would take over, and our country will die very quickly. So RFK's views on vaccines are fake, as is everything else about his candidacy. He is not a Republican.
As candidacy. I think Trump is a little bit worried about RFK Jr., especially when it comes to vaccines. Because remember, Trump promoted the vaccines. There's a huge...
They were his vaccines.
Yeah.
He called them his...
And this is, remember I just said earlier, they're trying to get him with COVID, right? They're trying to say, even Nancy Pelosi, when we showed that interview with Nancy Pelosi, and she said that Donald Trump he lost the most jobs in his presidency, and the lady on MSNBC or CNN, whatever it was, said, well, that was because of the pandemic. And then she called her an apologist for Trump. They want to blame Donald Trump for vaccines. Did Donald Trump promote the vaccines? Yes. Absolutely. We're not going to deny that. But look who he was surrounded by to give him the information that he need. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, the little bearded Amish guy, all these people gave him. We understand what Trump did with the vaccines. Totally. You can't use that against him again because we see through it. Even today, the information came out of who's the one who started the fucking pandemic. We thought it was the Chinese. It was actually us. And just think of this. Just think of this. How many more weaponized diseases would have come out over the next few years if we didn't destroy, not we, excuse me, I apologize for that. If the Russians didn't invade Ukraine. How many biolabs were destroyed by the Russians in Ukraine that they denied? Oh, we don't have any labs here. We're not developing any chemical weapons or biological weapons. Does everybody remember that? What were they going to weaponize against us next? Anyway, let's continue.
Vaccines.
Yeah. And so he's a little bit worried, and that's why I would venture to say he does not want RFK Jr. to be part of the debates. But it's hilarious that he's mocking Biden for the exact same thing. So here we are.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so there was a lot of information there. Because yeah, and I'm gonna say this. Anybody who walks into a situation and doesn't understand, oops, hold on. We have a bingo. That's right. I even hear his voice when you say that. Who doesn't understand everything totally, right? Say like Nancy Pelosi walking into the presidency of the United States would understand how DC works because she was a slithering snake for 40 years in the swamp. So she knows how it works, right? She understands it. So if she slid into the presidency, everything would be okay. She knows who to trust, who not to trust, who to believe, who not to believe, who to talk to, how to manipulate. Then you get somebody like Donald Trump, who the only people that he's ever dealt with is the people in New York that he had a bribe to get buildings built. Right? Mobsters, Teamsters, unions. Which those people, if they went into the swamp in DC, would be chopped up into fish bait. So Donald Trump went into his first term as president not understanding how any of it worked. Basic knowledge of how it's supposed to work, but even he said did not realize how deep the swamp went. So when you say things like COVID and vaccines, and people are blaming him for the stupid bump stock thing, which was overturned. Okay, what happens is it was a reactionary thing. 63 people were killed. I need to do something. Mr. President, you need to do something. And that's what he did. And people are still blaming him for banning a bump stock. Oh, he's anti-2A and blah, 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 blah. Dude. We need to ask ourselves, right? Ask yourself, what does this guy know? And why isn't he telling it? Right? Why isn't he saying anything? We all got excited when Donald Trump said, I'm going to declassify everything. And then on his watch, on his presidency, the statute of limitations on the Kennedy assassination were up. And he re-upped it again because he said the American people, I don't think, are ready to know the truth of what happened. I believe he told that to, I don't remember who he told that to. It's one of his friends, not somebody, but he told it to somebody. That we can't let people know yet what happened. Why, I don't understand, but that's just the way that it is. I mean, are we going to find out? We're going to find out that our own government assassinated one of our presidents? I wouldn't be shocked. Would you guys be shocked? Finding out that our own Central Intelligence Agency, along with the U.S. government and the Cubans, because at the time that was a big issue with the Cubans, assassinated our president? I wouldn't be. I think that's not correct. I think we can, as the American people collectively, handle the truth. Ranger, that's another thing. Another thing is, we were shown proof of the alien bullshit, the extra testicle stuff that's going on out there, and nobody cared, right? Nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. Nobody did anything. Are we ever going to get the truth out of our government on the things that maybe matter to the American people? Probably not. But if we can't, and I'll bring this back full circle, if we can't even have open, legitimate debates between candidates that are running for the illusion of the presidency, and I say the illusion because, like Anna Kasparian said, shit don't get done this fast in Washington. It's all an illusion. The magic bullet. It's all an illusion. And that's why we report on it. Well, not we, but me and the alien back there. We report on this to show people the illusion of what's going on. How somebody can sit on a stand in a courtroom under oath, put your hand on the Bible, swear to God, look there and lie, and never be held accountable for it. Because it's all predetermined. We said last night, what's up, secret weapon? Biden released documents saying we were aware of that. Yeah. What does it say? NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is enough proof. We don't. Yeah, exactly, Duppy. That's a lot of proof right there for aliens. Yeah. I just I don't think that it's fair to the American people who are going to vote in this election that we only have two sides to choose from. Choice, what's up, 17, Eric 17? Choice is something that we should have an abundance of. We should have people who, even if it's RFK, or like Band Mom says, the fruitcake, Marianne Williamson, she's a fruitcake. We should be able to have a choice of candidates to choose from, not who they tell us to vote for. And a candidate that's going to tell us the truth. Because it's not like any of the conspiracy theories that we talk about, which they call conspiracy theories, that are been debunked I don't know how many times. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent over here, but I'm just saying, I tend to sometimes agree with people, even if we don't like them. I don't like Chunky Yogurt or Anna Kasparian, but I tend to agree with that. Does Donald Trump really think that RFK Jr. is a threat to him? I don't think so. I think that he's pointing out the fact that RFK is a lot more left than Joe Biden. Like, a lot more left than Joe Biden. And that's a threat to the Democrats. Why he said he was a Republican, or he's not a Republican, I don't understand that. But because the Democrats want all this left bullshit that Joe Biden promised that he never delivered on. So, anyway. Yes, Ross Perot has left the chat. Ross Perot would have been a good president. Ross Perot would have been a Donald Trump, except 8 inches shorter. Yeah, I agree with that, Helen. You got to let the people decide. Let the candidates speak and let the people decide. Hold on, hold the phone. That would be a true democracy. What does it say? Marianne Williamson has the intellect of a pound bag of pink quartz. I agree. She's a weirdo. She's a fruitcake. She's a tarot cards. I mean, we're gonna have a Ouija board on the Resolute desk. I understand all of that, but there are people in this country who listen to her. There are people who are pro-Palestinian right now, where she's sucking up all the oxygen for that, who are saying, if you're on the ballot, I'm voting for you. A lot of people don't look at Marianne Williamson or Cornel West. Now, I happen to watch, like I said, a lot of different shit. And I see these people with their little speeches, and they're making a lot of sense to a lot of people. To me, no, because I understand how the system works. But to a lot of these uneducated, low information voters who are disenfranchised by Joe Biden because Joe Biden lied, she's making a lot of sense while she's, holding up her rocks. And, I shouldn't really say that because, over here, I have my rock, my little quartz. It's not quartz. It's my chakra stones. I'm like that. Hey, 23 Anon, how you doing? Cactus Canyon, welcome to you. You still don't know who they are? and there's only 4 people, right? Biden, Trump, Williamson, and West, who are legitimate candidates. West actually has a following. For what reason, I have no idea. I mean, the guy looks like Don King got run over by a truck. But, you know, he's a college professor. He's very popular. He's a very popular person. And he's extremely far left as far as his policies go. And he has people who are going to, if he's on the ballots, which Marianne Williamson has a better chance than Cornel West, but of being on the ballots, but people will vote for him because they are low information voters. They don't understand how the system works. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. Hey, Steve, you're absolutely right. There are healing. Okay, look, I'm going to go all Marianne Williamson on you for a second here. There are healing powers in crystals. I don't even want to say that there's not, because it's been proven. It's not like I go walk around and you know, carry crystals everywhere, but they have a certain energy from the earth. So yeah, you're right about that. But I don't pray to rocks. I'm just saying. I got rocks in my head. The blind leading the blind. Impeach them all. Absolutely correct. That's a great point. Basically, Cornel West is a black Bernie Sanders. You're right. He is an. I'm not going to say he's a communist. He's a Marxist, which you can't always correlate Marxism and communism together. But he is a Marxist. I'm going to give you that. And he's way more even far west than the fruitcake who prays to rocks. I think so too, Eric, that it is good. Even if they're trying to, you know, figure out what's going on around them. At least they're trying, right? Because they're listening to people and they're trying to make informed decisions on things. Even though we look at their decisions and say, "Are you retarded? What? How can you even decide something like that?" But at least they're waking up to trying to make a decision. They're trying to get involved in the system, and that's a good thing, whether we like their choices or not. You know. Frequencies, there you go. Kidney stones are magic too. Oh, hell no, Dong. If anybody ever had kidney stones and tried to pass a man and tried to pass them through, oh my God, that is so painful. Those are the only stones I wouldn't want. Thank God. I think Dong may have experienced that. Because you know that shit is painful and bloody. Bloody and painful. What's that saying? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Yeah, it's supposed to be, but it's not always, doesn't always work out that way. What's up, Dragon Slayer? Oh, I can't see what you said there. Everything that they have down, said Republicans. Yeah. Biden's EVs up. What does that say? Biden's EVs up, outreach to black voters in White House bid. What is he trying to push? Electric vehicles? Yeah, we do need time to sort out the trash. Yeah, that's an interesting thing about electric vehicles and this administration. in my opinion, one of the biggest electric vehicle producers in this country, I believe is going to get out of the business in the next couple of years. To tell you the honest to God's truth. I don't know if I've said this on the air before or if I said this to April. I'm not sure who I was talking to, but I believe that Elon Musk is going to dissolve Tesla. That he's not going to be in the electric vehicle business anymore, which I think would probably be a good idea in his part. There's not very many people buying electric vehicles anymore. And if he dissolved the company, that would be a lot of jobs lost. Yes, absolutely. But it would be a big hunk of the electric vehicle market that's going to be gone from the United States. Yeah, they only belong on golf courses with like my hat, because that's where my hat belongs, on a golf course. I predict a great breakfast for you tomorrow. Do you really? I wish. Thank you, Oil Man. That would be a great thing. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of car companies, GM, as a matter of fact, who's killing a big part of their electric vehicle line. People don't want them. And now here in California, Elon should rename Tesla to Etzel. Huh. Before the morons are. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's a thing now that's happening here in California, and I know in other states too, that people are going to the electric vehicle charging stations, and they're cutting off the hoses. That's not a hose, but the cable that goes into your car, because there's like 7 or 8 pounds of copper in those things, in each cable. So they're cutting them and stripping them and selling the copper. And what it does is they have to repair them, and then they charge you more to charge your car, because now they got to keep repairing the charging stations. There's not enough charging stations. They're too expensive. They take too long. Nobody's wants to deal with this shit. And all this, and what's funny is that 3 years ago, when we talked about how devastating the mining operation is to mine lithium and cobalt and all the stuff to make the lead to make the batteries, and how that's destroying the earth more than refining petroleum or oil, it took all this time for people to start coming around to realize that the batteries that are in these electric vehicles are worse for the planet than fossil fuels. I say fossil fuels, but you know what I mean. What are we manifesting for PTP? Dearborn truck cut a shift. Oh, what? See, there you go. Yeah. Hey, that's just the way that it is, right? It's gonna fail eventually. There's no shortage of oil, none. But there's not enough infrastructure to go to electric vehicles in the next year and a half, like these people want. It's just not going to happen. So, anyway, I don't know what time is it. What time is it? It's 1:00. 10 after 1. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm having a hard time seeing the chat here. We're going to end this show for this afternoon. And I'm going to be back tonight at 6 o'clock. And what we're going to do is we're not going to talk about news. We're not going to talk about what's going on with Trump. We're not going to talk about none of that shit. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite thing on the planet. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you do. Everybody loves this topic. We're going to talk about your favorite foods. I love talking about food. You guys love talking about food. Oil Man loves talking about food. So we're going to talk about food, and we're going to have a good time. And I'm going to try and read the chat as best as I can because for some reason my eyeballs are hurting. But yeah, 8 p.m. Yeah, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about food, people's favorite foods. You know, maybe our suggestions for breakfast. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway. 410 on the right coast. There you go. So I look forward to seeing everybody tonight. And everybody who's on the YouTube, Jeff B, I don't know if do you have a pilled account? Do you come over here on the pilled? It's easier for me to see the chat if you're on the pilled. No worries, Jim Bob. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you tonight. Food, love food. I want to get everybody who's on YouTube and DLive and X over to the pilled and get you guys over in the chat over there. I don't know how long YouTube is going to keep me on. It's always a crapshoot with those people. But I really would like to have everybody over on pilled. That's my home base platform, and it's a great group of people. And I like being there. So with that being said, I will see everybody tonight. Thank you guys for all the gold pills, red pills, blue pills, whatever things that you gave me. I appreciate everything. Have a great rest of your Friday. Let's see who I can send you to. Let's see. How about we send everybody over to Adel, 412 Productions. Go over there, tell them that PTP sent you, and show them some love over there. I'm going to be over there in the chat in a minute. I want to see everybody over there promoting me. So I'll see you guys tonight. Have a good one. Bye.